Hi, it's Mitch from Reverse Mortgage Pros, and in this presentation, I'm going to walk you through the steps to apply for and receive a reverse mortgage. Let's get started. So here at Reverse Mortgage Pros, I provide free professional help with your reverse mortgage decision. If you're interested in learning more about reverse mortgages, hit the subscribe button below the video, hit the thumbs up, and you'll get more of my video content to help you make an informed and educated decision if a reverse mortgage is right for you and your family. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of applying and getting a reverse mortgage because some folks can be daunted by that. So I'll walk you through how it works and what's involved. I'll show you all the steps along the way and what's involved at each step so you can be prepared and ready for what's to come. And I'll also answer any common questions I often get, such as what paperwork is needed, how long does it take, and why are you being asked for various particular documents. Before I get into detail, as I do at the start of every video, I'm going to walk you through what is a reverse mortgage in 20 seconds. It's a mortgage for homeowners 55 and older that doesn't require any repayments. You can get 10 to 55% of your home's value depending on your age, property type, and location. You can take as much money as you qualify for, but any existing mortgage on your home must be paid off using the funds first. It's designed to help you tap into your home equity for retirement and to continue to live in your home. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of applying for and getting a reverse mortgage. So apologies for the typo on that slide. So here are the 8 kind of steps, I would say, for applying for and receiving a reverse mortgage. And don't worry about writing them down or anything. I'm going to go through each one of them in detail. So the first step is researching the product to make sure it's right for you. Then you would apply to a lender once you pick the right lender and product. The first thing lender's going to do is order an appraisal to get the value of your home. You'll then gather and send in some paperwork. They'll send you a commitment that you'll review, sign, and send back, and I'll outline what all of this is in this presentation. You'll then go and get independent legal advice. Then there'll be a legal signing of the reverse mortgage and documents. And then after all that is done, on closing day, which is the date you can pick for when the reverse mortgage closes, you then receive your money. So let me go through each of these in detail. So the first step is probably the most important, which is research. To get educated and make sure it's the right decision for you. The good news is you're watching this video, so you're already doing that. I suggest you speak to a mortgage professional or check out my Reverse Mortgage Pros videos on YouTube. Make sure you've watched the videos on my channel. You can check out my website at reversemortgagepros.ca and get educated and informed, and just make sure that this is the right option, the right decision for you. One part of this research will be comparing lenders and options. It's probably best to get some professional help with this because there could be hidden costs, buried things within a mortgage that you don't know about, whereas an expert with experience in reverse mortgages will be able to help you. If you're interested, I have a free assessment. It's at reversemortgagepros.ca/assessment. That's where I'll look at your situation and I'll make a recommendation as to the best lender and product for you. There's no sales pitch, no brokering of the deal. I'm just going to look at your situation and give you a recommendation for free. So once you've done all that, you've done your research, you're happy reverse mortgage is right for you, you've compared lenders and options, probably talked to a professional, got some kind of professional help from me or someone else, you're then ready to apply to a lender, which is step number 2. So you'll submit a formal application to the lender that you found the product that you're wanting to apply for, and it's going to cover basic information like your date of birth, address, any assets and liabilities you've got. Those are just fancy accounting terms for things you own, which is an asset, and things that you owe, which is a liability. So your house is an asset, the mortgage is a liability. Your car is an asset, a car loan is a liability, and so on. So you'll give them all this information, kind of an overview of your financial situation, and you'll also give them permission to pull your credit score because they're going to do that. I'll talk more about that later on because that's a fairly common question as to why you pull a credit score when it's not really important for a reverse mortgage. And in general, this is almost identical to applying for any other mortgage or lending product. Even a car loan, you'll go through very similar steps. A bank loan, a home equity line of credit, a mortgage, all of them are very, very similar. This is not any different to any of those. So once all that's done, the first thing the lender is going to ask for is an appraisal because the house value is central to the reverse mortgage. So they're going to do this as early as possible in the process, because your home's value is key to the application, so they want to establish what it is as early as possible. Rather than go into too much detail on the appraisal and the value of your home, I have a whole entire video on my channel. You can click on my channel link below and watch that, or if you search for Reverse Mortgage Pros, Appraisals, and Home Value on YouTube, then my video should come up. And I walk you through all the detail around this. Again, something that people can find stressful, but you shouldn't do. Is actually very straightforward, very easy. You don't need to do any kind of staging or any crazy tidying of your home for an appraisal. And sometimes the appraisal might not even be in person. So again, watch that video. There's a lot more detail into this step, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to tell you that this is the step here and give you a brief overview. After the appraisal is done, you'll likely start to gather and send in paperwork. And this can be at the same time as step number 5, I'm going to talk about in a second. It can be after step 5, I'm going to talk about in a second. But generally, this kind of happens after the appraisal is done. It's the beginning of sending in paperwork and the bank sending, the lender sending you paperwork. So what you're going to need is property tax statements and proof that the property tax has been paid and up to date. You're going to need any statements or paperwork relating to any existing mortgage. You need bank statements or anything to show any existing assets or cash or stuff like that that you've got. You're going to need details on any income you've got. That varies by lender. Sometimes you might not need to do full income verification. Sometimes you do. But they will most likely, in most cases, look at your income. Of course, they're going to do identity verification, so like passport, driving license, that kind of stuff. And then any other specific requests that might be particular to your situation. The point here is that the paperwork is getting a financial overview of your position. It's exactly the same as applying for almost any other mortgage or loan. They want to see proof of all your assets, proof of all your liabilities, proof of your income, proof of your credit score, your bank statements, and then particularly want to see property tax statements to show that it's up to date, because they don't want to give you a reverse mortgage and then the government comes and takes your home because you haven't paid your property taxes. All this can be done just by scanning in the documents and sending them in digitally. You don't need to do anything in person nowadays. So you can just do this from the comfort of your home and take your time and gather all those documents. So as I mentioned, at the same time as you're doing this, you might be receiving a commitment from the lender. So sometimes it's done before sending paperwork, sometimes after, sometimes kind of at the same time. A commitment is a formal offer from the lender to lend you a mortgage with details on what they're offering and what you're required to do in order to be able to complete the deal. So it might be something like, we're going to give you a $200,000 reverse mortgage. In order to get this money, you need to send us property tax statements, bank statements, your existing mortgage statement, and so on, all the stuff we just talked about. And it's also going to outline the rate, the term, and all the other information for the reverse mortgage itself. I've got videos on all that stuff, so make sure and check out those videos on my channel if you want to learn more about rates and terms and all that kind of stuff. Now, it's important to note that signing it back doesn't actually commit you to a reverse mortgage, and it's not a done deal. The commitment is from them to you. It's not the other way around. You're not committing to a reverse mortgage by signing it. They're committing to lend you money as long as you meet the criteria and go through the checklist that's outlined in the commitment. So you're kind of just, they're making an offer, which is their commitment to you, and you're accepting their offer and based on meeting certain criteria that are included in it. So once you've reviewed, signed, and sent back the commitments, you'll then go and get independent legal advice. So you're required to get independent legal advice by all the reverse mortgage lenders in Canada, and actually some government regulations in certain provinces require you to get independent legal advice. So you're going to meet with a lawyer, you're going to review the commitment, review everything you want to, ask them any questions you've got, and ensure that you're happy with everything. Just walk through any questions you've got and go through the legal aspects of a reverse mortgage and the mortgage commitment that the lender sent you. They might also even send you a full reverse mortgage contract by this point as well. So once that is done and everything's approved and you've had your independent legal advice, the final step before you get the money is the actual proper legal signing, formal signing, and final acceptance of your reverse mortgage. This won't be with your independent lawyer, but with a real estate or mortgage company, or real estate mortgage legal company who create the paperwork, and that indicates that you're securing a reverse mortgage against your home. And this is Exactly the same signing process as with any mortgage. In fact, there are two or three really big companies in Canada, FCT, FNF, for example, and the majority of mortgages are actually done through those companies. And so it's probably going to be one of those companies that you're using. And so that's why it's exactly the same as if any other mortgage. It's even the same company, oftentimes. So once you've done the final legal signing with the real estate mortgage legal company to secure the reverse mortgage against your home, um, it will you'll wait several days or however long you picked. In the paperwork you'll sign, you'll pick the closing date in which the reverse mortgage is completed on. And on this day, any existing mortgage that you have will be paid off and you'll receive the funds, whether as a lump sum or monthly payments or both, or however you chose to receive the money. And then only at this point does interest start adding up on the amount that you took out, and it only is charged on the amount you took out. You don't be charged interest on the amount that you qualify for, but you didn't take. So you take the money out now, and then interest starts accumulating now. This is the closing date and when you receive the funds. So in terms of timeline, it's a fairly common question I get. It's going to vary from lender to lender and also during busy periods. Lenders tend to be a bit slower in the summer because summer's when the housing market's a bit busier and summer's also when people like to go on vacation. But you're looking at around 2 to 6 weeks or more than 6 weeks. Generally speaking, an appraisal is only valid for 90 days. So the reverse mortgage usually has to be done within 90 days. My advice is in that unless you need the money urgently, take your time. Don't rush into anything. Allow for at least 4 to 6 weeks. So you're not rushing, ideally more. And if you have an existing mortgage, allow for even more time. I would say if you have an existing mortgage, you want to start and you're thinking about doing this to replace your existing mortgage when it's due. You want to start looking at this about 3 months before. So if your mortgage is term is ending in June, you'll want to start looking in March at reverse mortgage and beginning this process. Another common question get is why do lenders pull your credit score and verify my income when they're not part of the qualification criteria? They're not key qualification criteria. Well, a reverse mortgage is still a loan and it's still a mortgage product, so they're actually required to do this. Is the most simple answer. You're not allowed to lend a mortgage without doing due diligence. The regulations and regulatory body would not be happy if lenders were just simply giving out money and not doing any kind of due diligence or checks. And so it's almost every single mortgage product in Canada requires pulling a credit score. That's just the way it is to get a mortgage in Canada. Then when it comes to income, lenders also want to make sure that you're able to pay your property taxes, or they might keep a portion of the reverse mortgage to do this. And so while a credit score doesn't necessarily impact your ability to get the reverse mortgage, if you had a poor credit score, lots of debt, very little income, they might lend you a smaller amount of money and they might also keep some of the money aside to pay the property taxes. So that's why they're still looking at your financial picture here. The biggest risk to a lender is that you don't pay your property taxes and the government comes and takes the house and sells your house to get the property taxes. The lender will probably get their money back because they'll be paid when the house sells, but they don't want you to lose your house either. So that's why they take these steps. So in summary, the steps to get a reverse mortgage are not as daunting as it may seem, and they're very similar to regular mortgage. Really, only the independent legal advice is the only major difference between a reverse mortgage and a regular mortgage. If you were to go to the bank and ask for just a regular mortgage in your home, they're still going to do an appraisal. They're still going to gather all that paperwork. They're still going to send you commitments. There's still going to be a legal signing. The only additional step of a reverse mortgage compared to a normal mortgage is the independent legal advice. You want to allow for 4 to 6 weeks or more in order to be able to take your time and not rush through everything. And this isn't easy, free money. You still require to send in paperwork and documentation. These are regulated mortgages in Canada. This is a fully regulated industry in Canada. They can't just simply write you a check and not do any kind of due diligence. And then finally, the most important step is to get good advice and do your research and make sure that you're happy with this product and that you pick the right product and lender. And on that note, as I mentioned, I do offer a free professional reverse mortgage assessment in 90 seconds. I'll give you a free assessment. I'll advise if it's a good solution for you, if something better works, and I'll also recommend the lender and product that's the best fit for you. I don't push anything. There's no hard sales pitch. You won't even talk to me at all during this entire process. All I'll do is look at your information and make a lender recommendation to you based on that. All it takes is 90 seconds. You can click the link below the video in the video notes, or you can go to reversemortgagepros.ca/assessment. That's reversemortgagepros.ca/assessment with 4 S's. If you got any questions or comments on this video, leave them in the comment section below, and I answer pretty much any comment on any video to make sure that you're getting answers to the questions that you have about reverse mortgages. I hope you enjoyed this, and all the best. Thank you.